did you know that in Bright Memory Infinite, the bobblehead on the dashboard of your car will react to your unique driving skills? Hello and welcome to Hidden Video Game Details, the series that aims to show you things that you may not have known about your favourite games so that you can look really clever in front of the smelliest person you know. Don't forget to leave a like on this video, and if you do, I'll make sure to move out of your mum's basement. Oh, and before we get started, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Clash Royale. Clash Royale is a real-time multiplayer game made by the same guys behind the incredibly popular Clash of Clans. You can even use Clash of Clans characters in Clash Royale. You can collect and upgrade hundreds of different cards, or just settle on your favourites and try and make it work. Now, winning may sound simple. All you have to do is knock the opponent's king or queen from their tower. But that's often easier said than done. Matches are fast but strategic too, meaning that you need more than quick fingers to take down the enemy. Patience is also very important. Do you save your energy for one big play, or do you slowly chip away at your enemies with weaker, cheaper units? Like I said, winning is harder than it sounds. Don't worry though, all of these hard-fought battles aren't for nothing. Winning matches will see you entering league and global tournaments to match against some of the best players in the world. Winning these battles will see you showered with rewards. So get practicing. Clash Royale is free on iOS and Android and does a great job of getting you started, so why not scan the QR code on screen now or click the link in the description to check it out for yourself. Once again, a big thank you to Clash Royale for sponsoring today's video, and without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with the Eggcellent Grounded. Now, we did cover Grounded in this series before, where we discovered the skeleton of a pet hamster with a very interesting backstory. Well, today's Grounded detail is a warning to anyone who thinks that a tin of paint looks like a yummy snack. On the lid of a paint can, you can see this. I mean, if someone is dumb enough to eat paint in the first place, I doubt they're going to see this warning, but at least they tried. Next up is Hi-Fi Rush. Now, in the last episode of this series, we discovered that heading back to the hideout when you really shouldn't be able to would prompt unique responses from your allies. Well, it turns out that wasn't the only fourth wall breaking moment in Hi-Fi Rush. After completing the game, you can replay previous missions to pick up anything that you may have missed. When replaying a level, you do so with your allies to back you up, even though in some of the levels you aren't supposed to have unlocked them yet. This is probably best demonstrated in the game's third level, where you face off against a shielded robot. Despite your best efforts, you cannot damage the robot during your first encounter. You need to recruit muscle-bound nice guy Macaron first, as he can take out the shields. Well, if you replay the level with Macaron already unlocked and use him to beat the robot when you really shouldn't be able to, this will happen.
Mr. Jai, Sir Macaron has yet to join you. This is cheating.
All of my sleep.
Well, this messes everything up.
Do not be afraid. I will activate the cutscene as usual.
So Cinnamon will mention that using Macaron is cheating, and if you manage to defeat the robot, Cinnamon will activate the cutscene as usual. It's a really cool detail. The other detail that I noticed in Hi-Fi Rush only exists to make sure that you're paying attention. Among the many upgrades that you can buy in Hi-Fi Rush is the Rhythm Dodge Pull Cancel. This upgrade cancels the effect of pulling in distanced items when using Rhythm Dodge. Don't worry, you are hearing that right, it's a pretty useless upgrade. Well, it turns out that this upgrade was a test to make sure that you're actually reading what each upgrade does instead of just spam buying everything on the upgrade screen. It's brilliant. Up next is the Dead Space Remake. Now, in the last episode of this series, I shared the fact that spent clips would float in 0G. It was a small detail and one that you'd expect to find, but one that I really like. Well, another small detail can be seen whenever you're standing near falling sparks. So instead of being a pre-baked animation, the sparks will actually bounce and react to your suit in real time. The next detail is not only really cool, but is also educational. The flamethrower is a handy crowd control weapon in the Dead Space remake, though it's best to remember that it can't be used everywhere. For example, the flamethrower is fine to be used here, but if we head through the door, it isn't. Well, if you paid attention in school, you'll know that fire needs oxygen to burn, so it only makes sense that the flamethrower won't work where there is no oxygen. The final Dead Space detail can be seen when Isaac gets angry. After defeating a necromorph, Isaac is able to stomp on its body, which will usually reward him with some valuable resources. Now, doing this normally requires just the one stomp, but if Isaac continues to stomp long after the necromorph is dead, this will happen. So Isaac will get angrier with each stomp, leading to him using some particularly fruity language. Up next is another really cool detail from Black Ops 2. Now, one of the quickest ways to earn points in the early rounds of a zombies game is to use your knife. You start with a knife on all of the zombies maps, well, apart from one. The Mob of the Dead map takes place in the famous Alcatraz Island prison, and instead of using a regular knife, you use this instead. So even though it's only on screen for a couple of frames, the knife on Mob of the Dead is a shiv-like rusty knife. For comparison's sake, here is what the knife looks like on every other map. It's a really cool detail. Right, let's end today's video with Hogwarts Legacy. Now, I haven't spent a huge amount of time with Hogwarts Legacy, but in the very short time that I have played it, I can already see it's a game that is going to have a ton of details. I mean, saying that, the only detail that I've managed to find so far is actually pretty funny. As you make your way through the halls of Hogwarts, you can find a couple of sets of armour that don't seem to be getting along too well. So one of the suits of armour likes to hum, which annoys the other. Well, if you head back a little later on, this will happen. I mean, some may consider this an overreaction, but imagine spending your day next to someone who just won't stop humming. As I said, I've only played a few hours of Hogwarts Legacy, so if you think there is anything else that I should check out, let me know in the comments. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs, secrets, and hidden details in video games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.